Every time you've reached for your bird, you've been sending them a message. The problem is, it almost certainly wasn't the one you meant to send. Most bird owners love their birds deeply. They read about diet, they research enrichment, they spend real money on the right cage. And then, without thinking about it, they reach into that cage with a flat hand, scoop their bird up, and move on with the interaction. It feels natural. It feels warm. It's what you've always done. But the science behind what that bird experienced in that moment tells a story almost nobody thinks about. And once you understand it, you'll never reach for your bird the same way again. There's one specific signal your bird will give that tells you without any ambiguity, without any guesswork, that the answer is yes. We'll get to that toward the end. And when you know what to look for, the moment you see, it changes everything about how these interactions feel. 1. Your hand, from your bird's perspective, looks nothing like a hand. Most owners assume their bird knows them, knows their face, their voice, their smell, and that's true. Bonded parrots absolutely do. But here's what owners almost never consider. Birds are prey animals. Every single one. Not in some distant ancestral sense right now. In the wiring of your bird's nervous system, the world is divided into things that move safely and things that move like predators. A predator does specific things. It approaches from above. It moves directly toward the target. It extends something toward the bird's body without warning. Think about what a flat hand, moving straight toward a perched bird, looks like if you're the bird. Think about the angle. Think about the speed. Think about the fact that the hand is larger than your bird's entire body. Avian behavioral researchers at the University of Lincoln documented that parrots retain full prey response circuitry regardless of domestication history, meaning your captive-bred bird, raised in a safe home, still processes sudden direct approach as a genuine threat event. The cortisol spike is real. The freeze or flinch response is not behavioral stubbornness. It's survival instinct firing exactly as it was designed to. Your bird doesn't see a hand coming toward them. They see a predator. And every time you reach without asking, you make yourself a little harder to trust. 2. The way you approach communicates your species before you say a word. Here's something that might surprise you. In the wild, other birds' flock members, bonded partners, allies, almost never approach each other head-on. Lateral approach, oblique angles, stopping short and waiting. These are the body language patterns that signal, I am not a threat. Direct approach is what rivals do, what predators do. It's a categorical signal that precedes any individual relationship context. Dr. Susan Friedman at Utah State University, whose work in applied behavior analysis with parrots has transformed how professional trainers work, has written extensively about the concept of antecedent arrangement, setting up the conditions before an interaction so that the animal is already oriented toward a positive outcome. What she describes is not complicated. It is, in essence, do not approach a prey animal the way a predator approaches prey. The angle of your hand when you reach matters. Coming in low below the bird's perch line removes the overhead predator silhouette that their visual system flags automatically. Coming in from the side, rather than direct frontal, changes what the bird sees before they interpret who is coming. This isn't training, this is biology. And hey, if this is already making you see something you've been doing without realizing, hit the like button. It's the best way to help this reach bird owners who need it. Now back to what happens in those first seconds. 3. Silence feels safe, but the wrong sound can collapse trust before you even make contact. Most owners know intuitively that they shouldn't shout at their bird, but here's where it gets interesting. It's not volume alone that triggers a threat response. It's the quality of the sound. Parrots are among the most sophisticated auditory processors in the animal kingdom. Research from Dr. Carl Berg's lab on vocal communication in parrots found that individual birds develop and maintain personal call signatures, contact calls that carry identity, emotional state, and intent within a single vocalization. What this means in practice is that your bird is not just hearing sound when you approach, They are listening to your emotional state. The pitch, the pace, the tension in your voice, they process all of it before you've touched them. A low, measured vocalization before or during approach does something specific. It signals approach intent in a register the bird's nervous system reads as low arousal. Not excited, not nervous, not sharp. Just present. Think of it less like talking to your bird and more like a sound that says something is coming toward you and it is calm. This is why the same owner, the same hand, the same bird can produce two completely different outcomes depending on what they say or don't say before contact. I've watched experienced trainers demonstrate this. The physical movement looks almost identical. What's different is the sound that arrives first. 4. Waiting isn't passivity. It is the most powerful thing you can do. Here's where the science gets uncomfortable. In human interaction logic, waiting feels like hesitation, like uncertainty. We're wired to read pause as weakness or confusion. And so when owners approach their bird and stop short, just for a moment, and then reach anyway because waiting felt awkward, they've just done something important. They've removed the only part of the interaction that mattered to the bird. The pause is not nothing. From your bird's perspective, it is everything. It gives them a window biologically to run the assessment. Is this safe? Is this my person approaching in the way my person approaches? Is my body telling me to freeze or to lean in? Think about the last time your bird did this. What did you do? Did you wait? Or did you keep moving because the moment felt long? Dr. Irene Pepperberg's long-term observational work with African gray parrots at Harvard showed that parrots engaged in choice-based interaction, where the bird could visibly indicate willingness, showed dramatically lower stress markers and higher subsequent voluntary approach behavior. The birds remembered, not just in the abstract, they remembered who gave them a say. Waiting is not a hesitation, it is an offer. And the birds who receive that offer regularly become birds who actively lean toward the hand rather than tolerating it. 5. Your bird has been telling you whether this is okay. Most owners never learned the signal. There's a language here, and it is not subtle once you know it. The problem is that most owners were never taught to read it, and because nothing visibly bad happened when they ignored it, they kept going without ever knowing what they missed. The language is posture. Feathers sleeked tight to the body, weight shifted away from the approaching hand, head turned to orient one eye toward the approach, the monocular threat tracking response, which researchers at the Max Planck Institute for Ornithology have documented as a distinct behavioral marker of low confidence or threat assessment in citizens. These signals don't look like no, they look like a bird who is being patient. But here's what nobody tells you. Patience, in a prey animal, is not the same as comfort. Tolerance is not consent. A bird who allows an interaction is not the same as a bird who chose it. And over time, the accumulation of interactions where the bird tolerated but did not choose quietly erodes something. Not the bond exactly, but the quality of the bond. The bird becomes a bird who endures its owner, rather than one who turns toward them. You have been the most important thing in your bird's world. That's worth protecting. 6. And here's the signal you've been waiting for. We planted something early in this video. One specific signal that tells you the answer is yes. It is not complicated. It is not subtle. And once you've seen it, you'll recognize it immediately, including in moments that happened before you knew what you were looking at. When a bird who has processed your low approach, heard your calm vocalization, and been given the space to assess, decides the answer is yes, they lean, not dramatically. Not like a puppy rushing to the door, a small, deliberate shift of body weight toward the source of the approach. Sometimes accompanied by a slight feather soften, feathers releasing their tight defensive position. Sometimes a very quiet, low vocalization, in return what avian researchers call a contact response. An acknowledgement that the signal was received and safe. That lean is active consent, not tolerance, not compliance, not a bird who has stopped trying to escape. A bird who has made a decision about you right now, in this moment, and decided, yes. That is the difference between picking up your bird and being chosen by them. And the way you approach determines, every single time, which one is happening. Your bird has been trying to tell you whether they're ready. Before you touch them again, give them the chance to say yes. If you want to understand the next layer of what your bird is communicating, how they signal that the bond is deepening, not just safe, there's a video on this channel about the behaviors birds only show to the person they trust most. Drop a comment telling me which signal you're going to look for next time. I read every one. The hand that waits to be chosen is the hand your bird will always reach back for.